Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news at 4:30. A water main break sends water shooting feet into the sky in a neighborhood. The damage to the road and cars in Durham.
And two things today. We have a heat advisory and a level 1 risk for severe storms. I'll outline your day.
A woman who police say crashed into a school bus carrying students is seriously injured. The charges she is facing in Orange County.
And NC State will officially kick off their football season tonight, and that could affect your evening commute in Raleigh. How construction happening near Carter Finley Stadium will affect drivers in the area and fans getting to the game. That was not there a year ago. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30. We're glad you're with us on this Thursday as we have a lot to tell you. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Jeff Hogan. Yeah, brand new start to that season, brand new start to our day. We're so glad you're with us here. I'm Jeff Hogan. And Elizabeth Carter over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with this severe risk that we're seeing in our viewing area right now.
And, you know, we were just talking about football games. This looks like it's going to be fairly late and at least by midnight or so, mostly up near the Virginia line. But we do have that level 1 risk for severe storms. And it does stretch all the way down into our southern counties. Damaging winds would be the biggest threat. We're going to walk through a futurecast. And you can see just starting here at noon, we'll begin to see a few isolated clouds that pop up at 5 o'clock. We're still pretty quiet. And then watch it develop up to the north. There's going to be a front that's there by 10 or 11 o'clock. We start to see some rain up near the Virginia line. And then overnight, it continues to sink southward. It's a quiet start this morning, but warm and sticky, 76 degrees in the triangle with a dew point of 69. And that, of course, is the measure of moisture in the atmosphere, which is going to make it feel hot this afternoon. It's going to feel easily like up to 105 or hotter. And the actual high will be around 99 degrees, which is going to be awfully close to a record. I'll show you how close coming up.
Breaking news, a water main break in Durham early this morning sends water feet into the air. This is video sent to us by a WRAL viewer. This happened in a neighborhood on Old Orchard Avenue. Nick Perlin joins us now live from this scene. And Nick, I understand this caused some major damage there.
Renee, crews with Dominion Energy are trying to repair that damage to the road, and it also caused damage to a silver car behind me. I do want to get you to some of this video that the viewers submitted, just so you can see this again. I mean, this is just very extraordinary. We're told by Dominion Energy that this happened at around 2 this morning. You can see water here just shooting into the air, causing damage to a car, like I said, and also there's a massive hole in the road here on Old Orchard Avenue in Durham. Dominion Energy does have this area blocked off. They did turn the water off, and right now they're trying to fix the damage here. I'm going to stay on top of when this road will open and when everything's going to be all fixed up for you. And as more information becomes available, I'll let you know. Live in Durham, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
A woman who crashed into an Orange County school bus is seriously hurt and facing charges. Troopers say she tried to pass the bus in a no passing zone when she hit it. 19 students were on board that bus at the time. The crash happened on Fawcett Mill Road in Hillsborough about 3:15 yesterday afternoon. Troopers say 58-year-old Maritza Brooks tried to pass the bus on the left as that bus was making a left turn. Brooks hit the bus, flipped her car, and was ejected. 2 children were treated on scene and sent home with their parents. The bus driver was also hurt. Brooks is charged with passing in a no passing zone, careless and reckless driving, and failure to wear a seatbelt.
Today, you can expect a lot of traffic around Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh. NC State's football home opener is tonight. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live at the intersection of Hillsborough Street and Blue Ridge Road. Kelsey, drivers will be navigating a lot of construction in that area.
Renee, yes, so you know the drill. If this is a part of your evening commute during football season, you're going to expect to see a lot of heavy traffic. And one of the main areas where you'll see that traffic is here at the intersection of Hillsborough Street and Blue Ridge Road. And a construction project that could impact you would be what's happening right now on Blue Ridge Road. NCDOT says this construction won't be complete until 2025. All of the road projects that were active last football season are still under construction right now. But there is a small change you may have noticed last week. All eastbound traffic on the Beltline from Western to Wade shifted to Hillsborough. We caught up with NC State students who live near downtown. They say they're leaving early for tonight's game to avoid the traffic.
It takes like 20 minutes to get there, so it can be kind of crazy, especially on game days. I mean, our stadium is like right down the street, should take 5 minutes, but it never does, so you have to leave way earlier.
And if you want to avoid all that hassle, just remember that tonight's game is scheduled for 7 o'clock. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Kickoff for college football also starts tonight for the UNC Tar Heels. They will take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers in Minneapolis. You can watch that game live on Fox 50. The pregame show starts at 7:30 and kickoff is at 8.
Federal investigators are working today to figure out what forced a plane to land on an interstate near Greensboro. This viewer shows the plane sitting on Interstate 840 at about 8 last night. Now, police say a pilot reported a mechanical failure just before the emergency landing. A car hit the plane after it touched down. Police radio traffic indicates a person on the plane was also hit by a car.
Plane then landed on 840 eastbound, was struck by a vehicle. Passenger on the plane got off the airplane and was struck by a vehicle, but is conscious and alert at this time.
The person who was hit is expected to be okay. No one else was hurt. Data from flight tracking website FlightAware shows the plane took off from a small airport near Augusta, Georgia.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will make his first stop in North Carolina today as the Democratic vice presidential nominee. Walz will be the headliner at an invitation-only fundraiser in Raleigh this afternoon. He'll be joined by Governor Roy Cooper. According to an invitation obtained by WRAL, the event is being hosted by several major Democratic donors. Afterward, Walz will join Vice President Kamala Harris for their first joint interview of the 2024 campaign. That will air on CNN at 9 p.m.
The State Board of Elections will call a special meeting today to vote on whether Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will stay on North Carolina ballots. The We the People Party requested yesterday that their candidate be taken off the ballot. This comes days after Kennedy suspended his presidential bid and endorsed Republican nominee Donald Trump. Even if their request is granted, Kennedy may appear on some ballots. Part of today's meeting will determine if counties that have already started printing November ballots will have the resources to redesign, proof, and print new ones.
Good morning, Chris Lovingood here in the WRAL Live Center, getting our first look in the newsroom of this operation Israel carried out in the West Bank. And Israel's military saying that at least 10 militants were killed in that region. This is one of the largest operations in the West Bank in months. Israel says that it's doing this to stop future attacks from happening, but concerned Palestinians are saying that that's not what's happening here. They're saying Israel is trying to expand the war and ultimately push them out. And all this is happening as there still has not been a ceasefire deal reached between Israel and Hamas, though U.S. leadership right now is saying that there is progress being made.
NC State sent out a wolf alert warning students of thefts on campus. NC State police have received many reports of items being stolen from cars near the Greek Village. The wolf alert that was sent out yesterday says there are no signs the cars were broken into. So police remind anyone on or around campus, lock your cars and register your bikes.
It's going to be a busy weekend for people traveling for the Labor Day holiday. There is some good news, lower gas prices. So AAA overall is seeing a 2% dip in the cost of traveling this year over last year. The national average for a gallon of regular unleaded is $3.36. We're waiting on, there we go. We have $3.14 a gallon for North Carolina. And then for Raleigh, we have $3.21 on average. So for times to hit the road, if you're hitting the road today, you'll want to take advantage of the light traffic this morning. The best time to drive before 11 a.m. and the worst time is from 1 to 7:30 p.m. Tomorrow, it's best to leave before noon or after 7 p.m. The worst time to be on the road is between 2 and 6 p.m.
Now, airports across the U.S. are preparing for the busiest Labor Day travel period on record. The TSA expects passenger traffic to be up more than 8% over last year. RDU expects to see a record nearly 200,000 passengers pass through this holiday weekend, and that's more than 13% more than last year. RDU recommends booking your parking online ahead of time so you can secure a spot.
Education leaders in Wake County will celebrate the expansion of a preschool program this morning. Wake 3 School serves low-income 3-year-olds in the county, providing free pre-K education to eligible families. The program is expanding to 300 seats, tripling the number it started with 2022. Wake County leaders will talk about the expansion at a news conference this morning at 9:30.
Students and parents in Durham Public Schools have a chance to meet the new superintendent today. Parents Against Crime is hosting a town hall this evening, and families can ask Superintendent Anthony Lewis questions about the new school year. Today's event starts 6 p.m. at the Holton Career and Resource Center on North Driver Street.
A listeria outbreak linked to Boar's Head deli meat is being blamed for more deaths. The number of people hospitalized in several states. Plus,
it was pure shock. It was pure shock from the beginning.
Now, wildlife officials were able to remove an 80-pound python from a man's yard in Maryland.
And we'll give you a live look at the WRAL newsroom in Fayetteville. We have a heat advisory today with temperatures nearing 100 degrees. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will tell us when we could see some storms tonight.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
443, we do have a level 1 risk for severe storms. It's likely to be closer to midnight, actually, and up near the Virginia line. But once those storms get started, there is a small chance that we could see some severe storms. So notice here, we've got 20% in around the time of the evening commute. But again, during the late evening is when we'll have the best chance of seeing any showers and thunderstorms. Heat advisory is going to hit us first. That starts at noon. It's going to feel like up to 105 across the entire viewing area for today. So that's going to be our big deal. We take a live look at Durham. And of course, the Durham Bulls have a homestand. We're likely to be dry through the game this evening, but it is going to be hot. It would be nice to be in a shaded spot, that's for sure. We're starting off with our temperatures in the mid-70s, and after today, our temperatures start to cool down.
Elizabeth, thanks. A former Massachusetts police detective is facing charges for allegedly killing a 23-year-old woman back in 2021. Matthew Farwell is accused of strangling Sandra Birchmore in her apartment shortly after she told him she was pregnant with his child. Investigators say the two had been in a sexual relationship since she was 15. Her death was originally ruled a suicide, but her family hired a pathologist who found her death was in fact a homicide. Farwell is charged with killing a witness or a victim and could face additional federal charges. He has pleaded not guilty.
Russia is adding more journalists to its list of Americans who are banned from entering the country. Journalists from CNN, Wall Street Journal, and Washington Post are among the 92 new additions to Russia's banned list. Officials from the Justice Department, Treasury, and Space Force are also on the list, as well as professors from some American universities.
6 more people have died in the listeria outbreak connected to Boar's Head deli meat, including 2 people in South Carolina. And that brings the number of deaths to 9. 57 people have been hospitalized. 71 products under the Boar's Head and Old Country brand names have been recalled. They were produced between May 10th and July 29th. This is the largest listeria outbreak in the U.S. in more than 10 years.
Former President Donald Trump's campaign is defending his visit to Arlington National Cemetery earlier this week. The Trump campaign posted a TikTok video showing highlights of his visit Monday. It was the 3-year anniversary of the deaths of 13 service members during an attack on Afghanistan's Kabul airport. Trump blames the Biden administration for their deaths. Federal law prohibits political campaign or election-related activities within national military cemeteries. The Trump campaign says an Arlington Cemetery staff member blocked members of Trump's team from joining him during a solemn ceremony.
Farmers across the state are dealing with significant damages to their crops, and it's threatening our food supply. Extreme weather events, including floods, extreme heat, and drought, have killed hundreds of thousands of acres of crops. The USDA has provided about $100 million in insurance assistance for farms with damages from Hurricane Debbie, the storm that caused crop losses in 30% of North Carolina counties. More than 3,600 farms in the state have had to shut down since 2017.
Some scary moment for some Maryland homeowners when they found a 10-foot python in their yard. It happened Tuesday in Pikesville. It's about 20 minutes from Baltimore. The man found the snake curled up under a tree, so he called a pest management company in the area to come help him. After some strategizing, they were able to wrangle that reptile.
They are pure muscle. So moving something like that is crazy to feel the strength of it.
And once they got control of the snake, they took it away in a giant ice chest to animal control, and they took it from there. It's not clear how the snake got into the yard, but experts say it was most likely someone's pet. Everybody else's pet had to beware of that. big guy there. 80 pounds. Wow. Right now, 447, Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with that advisory, that severe risk that's come out from all of our viewing area, pretty much.
Yeah, this does cover everybody. However, it looks like, at least at the beginning, the biggest threat is going to be up near the Virginia line. Damaging wind would be our biggest threat. And with a level 1, it just means isolated. And in this case, boy, we're not even going to see it start until much later today. We'll pause it there at 5 o'clock, and we're looking at partly cloudy skies still at 5. But once we get to 9 or 10, we start to see a few storms developing up near the Virginia line. And at 11 o'clock, some of that might be drifting as far south as Durham or so. So this is going to be more of an overnight event, really, for us. But keep that in mind. Again, some wind damage can happen late this evening or overnight. Our skies are mainly clear as we take a look across Wake County right now, 76 degrees with a dew point of 69. It'll be a fast warm up. We'll make it up to 90 by lunchtime. And we do have that heat advisory that kicks in at lunchtime. It'll feel like up to 105 this afternoon. You know, and it's been hot the last couple of days. It was really hot yesterday. We're going to see more of that today. Again, about 4 or 5 o'clock, we'll top out at around 105. But already feeling like triple digits by 2 o'clock. And we don't get out of triple digits until closer to 8 p.m. So do keep that in mind. Right now, our skies are clear. So we have the top of the tower lit in blue this morning. Look at this. Of course, we do have more storms in our forecast over the weekend. This is a gorgeous shot Vicki Williams took from Morehead City. But be very careful. Don't try to take pictures of lightning unless you're inside. It's very dangerous to be outside when we have lightning, of course. But we love to see your Weather Watcher photos. Go to WRAL.com and search Weather Watchers. Around town today, temperatures in the upper 90s. We're going to be close to records. The record for today is 100. So we'll be a couple of degrees from that. And of course, we continue to see our muggy meter high, humid today, up in the tropical area for Saturday, Sunday. And then we start to see everything cooling down a little bit. Now, we're likely to be a little more humid the next couple of days, but still feeling like 104 to 105 today and potentially 106 tomorrow. And then we start to drop it out of the danger zone, but it's still on the hot side. Kicking off the college football season, UNC plays tonight on Fox 50. They're in Minnesota. It'll be nice and cool for folks there. But NC State, of course, as we've been talking about, plays tonight at home against Western Carolina, around 89 degrees. Likely to stay dry through that game, fortunately. And then Duke plays Elon at home tomorrow at 7:30 with a chance for thunderstorms. That chance is 50% Sunday and Monday, and then about a 20% chance on Tuesday. So we're going to start to see those chances dropping off. And as they do, so will the temperatures. Check this out. Did you see this, y'all? Really? I mean, look. 78 degrees. Yep, I'm looking over there at Jeff and Renee. How about that?
Yes. Can't wait for that.
Sold.
A UNC senior is reaching for the stars. The space mission she's part of, that's scheduled to blast off in just a few hours.
Pretty cool. And when 2 new movies starring Channing Tatum and Sydney Sweeney are set to start filming right here in North Carolina. The West Nile virus has been detected in the Triangle. The CDC found the virus in a blood donation in Durham County. Beyond that, we know at least 6 people in North Carolina have gotten sick from the virus. And that's just one of the mosquito-borne illnesses spreading right now. WRAL health reporter Grace Haba visited a lab at UNC where they're trying to figure out what makes some people sicker than others.
It usually starts with a scratch. And for most, that's where symptoms stop. But for others, a mosquito-borne illness can be more serious.
One thing that my lab's really interested in understanding is why is it that only some people get sick?
Helen Lazier and others at UNC have been researching mosquito-borne illnesses, including West Nile virus, for years. She says the biggest problems occur when the virus spreads to the central nervous system.
When that happens, that's very serious. So if people develop encephalitis or meningitis, they have to go to the hospital.
So far this year, Buncombe, Rutherford, and Cleveland counties have all had people test positive for West Nile virus. Now, state health officials tell me that number is expected to rise here in the coming weeks, with 3 more people now hospitalized in Columbus County. We also now know that Durham County recently detected the virus in a blood donation, and it's believed that that donor here in the Triangle did not have any symptoms.
The majority of people who get infected with West Nile virus, around 80%, actually will not have any symptoms whatsoever.
About 20% will have mild symptoms like fever and a rash. But for a rare 1%, hospitalization, even death, could occur after a mosquito bite. Most infections occur in summer months. State data shows older adults are at the highest risk, but exactly why remains unclear.
Some of that might have to do with how the immune response changes as people age, but that's something that people are actively studying to learn more about.
Grace Haba, WRAL News.
Health officials say using a bug spray with DEET, wearing long-sleeve clothing when you're outdoors, especially in the woods, and getting rid of standing water in your yard are all ways to reduce your risk of being bitten.
A UNC senior is setting her sights on the stars. Carson Kitchen is part of a crew that will launch into space this morning. She is on Blue Origin's 26th New Shepard mission. Kitchen and 5 other people will launch from West Texas and into space. They'll run an experiment on how plants react to microgravity. Kitchen went to high school in Durham. She's majoring in communications and astronomy at UNC. She will be the youngest woman to ever cross into outer space. The launch window for the mission opens this morning at 9 our time.
Some big names in Hollywood are coming to the Queen City. Sydney Sweeney is set to film in Charlotte next month, and the Euphoria actress will play legendary boxer Christy Martin. Casting is currently underway for extras. Channing Tatum will also visit Charlotte while filming Roofman this fall. Roofman will be a true crime film based on the story of a serial robber who broke into stores by entering through their roofs.
Breaking news, crews are cleaning up after this huge water main break in a Durham neighborhood. The damage to the road and people's cars.
Expect heavy traffic tonight when NC State starts its football season against Western Carolina. How nearby construction could pose an issue for drivers in that area.
And a woman is facing charges after crashing into a school bus filled with students. How police say the crash happened in Orange County.